And we are live.
Welcome
Huzzah.
back.
Huzzah!
All right, before we get started, Q, Huzzah needs to die immediately.
He ended the last pod on a huzzah, and he started this one with a
Blame
huzzah.
Gator.
Yeah, I don't like that, Q. But week 5 is here. We are back, Super Fantasy Bros podcast on Thursdays. This will be normal moving forward, as it has been for the past couple of weeks. So make sure you're tuned in on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We'll be previewing week 5 today. Got a huge episode, still 14 games to get through with some teams on bye week. Before we get started, obviously COVID impact again, we mentioned it yesterday, but just be aware of cases, make sure you're monitoring your matchups, and make sure your league has a plan in place no matter what happens. Just be ready for anything. Again, check our website. We got a plan there. We've got options there for you if you need some help figuring out how to navigate through these weird times. But football's still going. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it moving.
And if you want the first heads up on notifications, a good idea is to download the Fantasy Life app because they are right on point with every notification right as it happens. I mean, it's helped me. I'm sure it's helped you guys tremendously. I mean, we get the news even before the reporters get it. So
That's right.
We are the reporters.
Yeah, we're
We
promoting
are
an
the
app.
reporters.
It's not even ours. Make sure you download that app. It's must
better
if you play
sponsor us.
fantasy.
Yo, Matthew Berry, listen to us. We need you.
I love you.
All right. Let's get into the first segment, as always, on Thursdays. Cap or no cap?
Love it.
Let's start with some
wish I wore
news.
my hat tonight. Damn.
Oh, man. Poor Matt. Start with some news. DeAndre Hopkins says he hopes Bill O'Brien finds success elsewhere in the NFL. Cap or no cap?
Cat.
No cap.
You don't care.
D-Hop is like, I mean, yeah, there's a sense of pettiness in there, but I'm sure D-Hop isn't the type to like hate someone just for getting rid of him.
Yeah, he seems like.
I mean, he's in a better situation right now. So,
What do you think, Q Hopkins?
I think.
oh yeah, Q.
I think I'm not wearing the best receiver in the league. I'm wearing number 2.
Whoa!
Take it off.
Take
You
it
don't need
off.
to take it off.
We
You
don't
don't
need to
even
hear
deserve to
it.
wear it. Take it
All right,
off.
we're not hearing
He's
what Q has to say
just
about it.
he's just a. DeAndre Hopkins is a good guy. I think I like him. He's my second favorite, I guess.
Boo.
So who's number one?
He thinks
Julio.
Julio is still number
Oh.
1.
He's not even number one on his team, sir.
He finished number 1 last week on his team, even with his.
Imagine thinking Julio was over D-Hop. Couldn't be me.
All right, let's get in some
This is a
real
bar
fantasy
fight.
talk. Q, you don't deserve to wear that jersey. Anyways,
Well, I don't feel like taking it off.
Should be mine.
Joe Mixon, a top 12 running back this week after a huge week last week. Cap or no cap?
Cat.
Okay.
Cat.
No cap.
Cap.
I have him right at 12, so I can't say cap because then I'd be lying.
Me too. I have him at 12 also, so that's why.
I mean,
Cat.
who do you have
And-
over him?
I have him at 15. I have Gurley over him.
I have Gurley over him. I have Gurley right over him.
Stop
I got
that.
Gurley
Stop
at
that right now.
16.
I have Gurley at where's Gurley at? Jesus Christ, I can't even find him.
I have
14.
Mixon at 16.
Didn't Kenyon Drake play the Panthers last week? Wasn't
Yeah,
he
but-
supposed to have that breakout party where he got 3 fantasy points?
Gurley just might be better.
Panthers are looking better. I don't know.
with the subtraction of Luke Kuechly.
I mean, I guess. I think that kind of
Good
hurts
math.
their case. But
Well, I'm saying they're playing good with the subtraction of them, so like that's good in their favor.
next one here. Gronk will have his breakout game with all of these injuries on the Bucks offense as of right now. Cap or no cap?
Cap.
No
It could have
cap.
happened by now.
Cap.
What do you mean could have happened?
Put this cap on snug.
All
Snug.
these injuries have been present prior to this week.
No,
so
now they-
what?
They have one running back, one receiver, Scotty Miller, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, Cameron Brate. If Cameron Brate scores more than Gronk this game,
You did last game.
I don't know what I'm gonna make. I'll buy a Cameron Brate jersey.
Do it. You have
Oh my
to.
God. You have to do it now.
All
You have to wear it
that's-
next
That's
week.
locked in.
Hopefully they sell that on the website.
That's a lock. Yo, Des Bryant, throw up the X. All right, let me stop dick eating.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. Calvin Ridley and Julio are still both top 10 wide receiver options, even after a couple of inconsistent weeks. Cap or no cap?
I
If
say
Julio
no
was
cap.
healthy,
No cap.
this would be no cap.
No
Yeah.
cap.
No cap either way. Julio and Calvin Ridley, if you have them, you still have to consider them as top 10 options, wide receiver ones. Calvin Ridley showed in the first 2 weeks what he's capable of, and Julio's Julio.
The first
we all know
3
him.
weeks.
We all know him as a top 3 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
I have him ranked pretty low this week.
I didn't rank Julio this week because I don't
Yeah, me
expect
either.
him to play.
I didn't rank him either.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play. It doesn't seem likely, especially after leaving last game with the same injury.
Stefania Bell said it doesn't look good for him.
I love Stefania Bell.
She's such a, I don't know. Marry me, Stefania.
Love her.
All right. Next one here. Robert Tonyan is a top 5 tight end for the rest of the season. Cap or no cap?
I guess I shouldn't do this because it is cap.
Yeah, it's Cap. I think there's too many good tight ends above him. Just the first 2, Kittle, Kelsey, then you got Ertz, Waller, and Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
That's 5.
I just want to hear what Matt has to say about this. That's all I want to hear.
Matt's thinking about saying Tonyan over Ertz right
I
now.
can't wait to say bias.
No, I'm not saying that. Easily top
Bias.
10, top 5. I wouldn't put him in there, but he's definitely 6 or 7. I don't see you putting
I'm
anyone
taking
else.
Hunter Henry over him.
Me
At that
too.
point, though, you might be right. He might be around that 7 area with those guys that have been a little bit inconsistent.
That's
Tyler
That's
Higbee,
where I need him to be. So
Ingram,
I mean,
Hawkinson, etc.
Not
but
Ingram.
with the connection that he has right now with Aaron Rodgers, I would not put it past him finishing top 5.
Well, neither. He's already got 5 touchdowns. He's well on his
Yeah,
way to be.
he's-
Leading all tight ends.
He's number 2
Yeah.
right now.
He's using up all his touchdowns right now.
Yeah.
No,
There's
he's
none
not.
left.
There's
Week 6.
like
Aaron Rodgers'
there's
career
12 more games.
has not been a tight end guy, but I don't know. Him and Tonyan seem to have a hookup, so I'm confident in him, but I don't know about a top 5 just yet.
All right, we'll talk about it. I guess we can't talk about it next week because he's on a bye, so we won't see anything.
We'll talk about him in a couple of weeks. He'll
Yeah.
obviously be a topic we can
We'll get
continue
back
to
on
talk
this
about.
topic.
Anyways, next one here. Robbie Anderson will finish over DJ Moore this season without a doubt. Cap or no cap?
No cap.
Okay.
There's a little
No
doubt.
cat.
Little doubt, but I think it's gonna happen.
But I love Robbie Anderson. Obviously, bias intended on that. He went to Temple. I watched him play in college. But I also have a sweet spot for DJ Moore, but I still have to say no cap. Robbie Anderson looks like the wide receiver 1. We'll get into it in a little bit. I'll give my take then.
Sorry, DJ Moore should have went to Temple.
Yeah,
Should have went to Temple. He did make a mistake.
Who knows? where he
Anyways,
went.
I forget what college he went, but he chose it over Temple. Matt Rule was
He did?
recruiting.
Did
Yes, Matt Rule was
That's
heavily
crazy.
recruiting
That's
DJ Moore.
karma.
he would have been over Robbie.
He went
Anderson this year
to
if he went to Temple.
Imhotep Institute Charter High School. Wait,
That's his high school, not his college.
that's what. Oh, he went to Maryland.
Yeah. So he was being recruited by Matt Rule at Temple, and he decided against going. And then Matt Rule said, "Looks like we're finally together," when he became the Panthers head coach. So
Eh.
He said, "I'm gonna show you why you should have came to Temple."
he said, "I'll show you my Temple guy." All right. Anyways, we got to stop talking about this. My bias is showing incredibly. All right. Carson Wentz is back as a startable fantasy quarterback. Cap or no cap?
Cap.
Put
Wait.
that hat right
Cap,
on
cap,
your
cap, cap,
head.
cap, cap, cap.
I think
Well,
he's
it's-
matchup dependent.
Cap,
Yeah.
cap,
I
cap.
think at this point, you're not confident starting him in a tough matchup at all, as you would have been in years past.
I'm not
but-
starting him this week.
If he's got an easy matchup, I think he's startable at that point. If he's
How
playing the
easy?
Giants, the Cowboys, his division pretty much. Giants, Cowboys. I think even
Redskins.
when they play the
Oh,
football team again.
Sorry,
Come on, Matt. The R word, Matt.
dude. I can't help it.
I feel like every Thursday episode, someone slips up.
Someone slips up
Yeah,
and says the R
it's
word.
usually me.
I've said it too. So
This is my second week in a row saying it. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Good
yeah,
idea.
when we talk about that game, you're just not allowed to speak.
All right.
All right. Well, one last one here before we get into our game previews. No Giants offensive players are going to be startable this season if they struggle against the Cowboys this week. Cap or no cap?
That might be no cap.
No cap. I think
That's
this,
a whole football team you're marking fantasy irrelevant. And I
Bro,
think it's going to be no
relevant.
cap if they
Look
Even
struggle.
what
the
it's
Jets are
been.
still
Look what it's
relevant.
been so far.
right, they haven't had a touchdown.
Everybody has been going off against Cowboys. I think they just statistically have the worst defense like ever. almost.
Yeah.
So if they don't get it done this week, I don't know what other week they could get it done. Maybe against the Dolphins or someone of that tier, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, big
Yep.
yikes.
Big yikes for the G men this year.
Danny Dimes to Danny Nichols to Danny Penny.
It's just gonna be Danny in a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Just gonna be
Danny-
Dan.
Danny D.
He's gonna be D eventually. All right. Anyways, let's get into today's sponsor before we get into the previews. And of course, the Thrive Fantasy app for iOS and Android. Thrive Fantasy app, daily fantasy sports app. We talk about it every single week. You should know by now. But if you download the Thrive Fantasy app today, use our promo code SUPERFB, SUPERFB, and you deposit $20 or more, you will receive an instant $50 bonus. It's pretty much $70 for paying $20. You get to play with that money and try and win up to thousands of dollars in competitions and prizes that they have every single week. So go check out this up and coming Thrive Fantasy app today and win yourself some money. All right, Thursday Night Football coming up here in roughly an hour or so. So let's get into our preview of that game. First and foremost, Tom Brady. Is he locked in as a top 10 option after exploding again last week?
That 5 touchdown performance, he like turned a switch on in the second half of that game because they weren't looking too good. But I have him ranked at number 10. I think not having Godwin, I mean, it affects him, but he clearly did it without him last week. Mike Evans he's playing 50%, still going off. But yeah, he's locked in.
Yeah,
Brady
I got him at number 10.
threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. So no matter who he's missing, I don't see him really missing a beat. He can do it with anyone. He showed that in the past. The Patriots never really had the best offense on paper, but he made it work. He's making it work this year. So I think he's just going to keep going off of that. And whoever they have in there, Tom Brady's going to find a way to get him the ball and get him in the end zone.
Yep, I'm with you on that one as well. I don't have him in my top 10 this week. Actually, I'm at 13 just because at Chicago scares me just a little bit. But if I had him, I'm most likely starting him. I don't feel that confident starting that many players over him.
Yeah.
Mike Evans must start if he's playing tonight. For sure, you have to have him out there, especially with Godwin out. Mike Evans is going to put up some numbers. Ronald Jones, with all of those running back injuries to Fournette and Shady. Top 15 this week?
Number 16. I just think the defense is still a little rough, but being the only option running the ball, that puts him inside top 20.
I currently have him at 25 because I'm banking on Fournette playing and Keyshawn Vaughn being somewhat involved in the offense. But if Fournette does not play, I would definitely bump Ronald Jones up like five spots.
I did have him at 26, but right before the podcast, we're gonna assume that he's out, and that's what moved him up to 16.
Yeah, he was doubtful after Wednesday's practice, so I believe he's out.
All right, well,
predicting the future here. I believe he's out, but I have Ronald Jones at 22, and I think he's got the upside to be top 15 for sure this week.
Yeah.
On to the other side of the ball. Is Nick Foles startable yet? Even we saw Justin Herbert go crazy against the same defense last week.
Is this a 2-quarterback league?
Nope.
Then nope.
Yep.
No league should be a 2-quarterback
He
league.
came back to earth last week. Well, he was playing the Colts.
Some people do that super flex league where you can flex a quarterback, wild stuff. I've never done it, but
What the hell?
It's
I don't
out
think
there.
I've heard of that.
they exist.
I wish
Trust
I
me.
could flex a quarterback.
It's wild. But yeah, I don't think Nick Foles is trustworthy yet. You want to see him continue to put up some numbers. He does have the weapons there to succeed. You just want to see it before you can.
Fourth
believe.
quarter, he went off, though. That was just garbage time stuff, though.
Yeah. One more guy to talk about here, David Montgomery. You guys confident starting him, or are you just starting him because you're forced to at this point?
Of course.
Yeah, it's more of a forced thing.
Yeah, I have him at 24 this week, but that's just because so many people are on a bye and there's
All the
not that much
injuries.
running back depth. But like with the volume he gets, he should be around
Yes.
top 15. He just
Flex play.
seems like I don't know.
He just
He's
doesn't.
like a step too slow. He misses holes. I don't know. Dave Montgomery just isn't there
Good.
for me.
He's not
I
good.
don't think he's that great of a running back personally. Maybe he'll prove us wrong tonight. You never know.
I hope not,
Maybe.
because I don't want to
We'll
regret
see.
it.
But also, I just want to go back on Nick Foles real quick. Last time he played Tom Brady,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You want Philly,
I
Philly?
feel, I
You
feel
want
like
Philly,
we
Philly?
kind of shied away from that right there, but he definitely showed out against the GOAT the last time they played.
That
I'm
was
not
really
saying
so long
it.
ago.
It was like 3 years ago.
It just feels like a long time.
Was a long time.
It has been a long time.
This is the best day of my life.
Well, let's see. Let's pick this game. Who do you guys got?
Patriots.
Bucks.
Buccaneers.
He said Patriots.
Q picked the Patriots in that Super Bowl. He's a fucking
you
No, I did
did.
not.
You did. You put money
Traitor.
on it.
Wow.
You put money on it?
Yeah, against us.
Who told? I was with Sean for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he got his cap in there.
I was about to say.
Anyways, I'm taking the Bucks. I think we're all
Yeah, I'm
taking the Bucks. Do
Wait,
you guys-
can we
do you
get
have the
a
updated
recap on-
standings?
Yeah, standings.
All right. I got
if
it.
you got him.
I got it.
Oh, you
Okay.
got 'em.
Ready.
All right.
Okay.
My guy is ready.
Oh, I think I did bad last week. So,
Tied for last.
me and Q probably.
You and Q are tied for last. You guys are 41 and 22.
It's still pretty good though.
In
It's not
second,
bad.
Matt 42 and 21. So you got
Yes,
one
we're
game.
right
You
behind
got
them, Q.
one game on
That's
them.
close.
That's close.
Oh my
And
god,
I'm
you guys
still-
like 45.
I'm still in the lead. 43 and 20. We're all one game apart.
Oh wow,
Oh
that's
my-
close.
Bro, we're smart.
Wow, that's crazy. All right.
That is good. All right, so we all took Bucks this game.
Yep, we all took the
Yeah.
Bucks.
All right, so that.
I'm taking the lead this week, baby. Just
Stop.
kidding. Just
Cat.
depends what you guys
Wish
pick.
tuna
Cat.
fish.
All right, let's move on to the
that's-
next game.
That's cat.
Let's move on to the next game. Hopefully Thursday Night Football is not a snooze fest. Let's hope it's a good game. But moving on to Sunday, Bills at Titans. Obviously for this one, monitor COVID. Titans have been, their whole roster's getting demolished.
might-
Expected.
They might be forced to
Please.
forfeit.
Yeah,
Forfeit.
if they have to forfeit or if this game gets rescheduled, just monitor it and make sure you have a plan with your league. But if it does happen, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs locked in as must-start options for sure. They're locked into your lineup.
Skip.
You're not moving them.
Yep.
But Devin Singletary, someone that you might have to think about a little bit. Do you guys have him inside your top 20 this week?
You might have to think about it a little bit, but I'm starting them. I have him at 24.
I got him
so
at
he's
24.
Borderline flex option, RB2 option. I'm comfortable starting him. I mean, I don't really see Zach Moss coming back and taking many touches away from him.
Yeah,
So-
I came into the season not liking this backfield either, but Singletary is not too bad.
He was
Yeah.
good last year. I don't
He
know
was,
why
but
people
that's-
thought
People were
a
scared
rookie-
that Zach Moss looked really good in training camp, but after the
everybody can look
injury,
good in training camp.
they really need to work him back up to speed and back into that offense. So for now, Singletary is definitely a solid option. I actually am inside my top 20 at 19 this week. So
Whoa.
I like
I
Singletary.
don't
this week.
hate it. I don't hate
Yeah,
it. Sean. There's just a couple people I like more than him.
Definitely fair point. Other than that, there are a couple other pass catchers that are fantasy relevant on this team. Cole Beasley or John Brown, who would you rather start in your flex spot?
Both healthy. You got it. I'm going with John Brown. still.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley's too streaky for me.
Cole Beasley's
He's
been one of the most
super solid.
consistent receivers up to this point.
I think he's
So.
averaging like 13 points a game, and I'm comfortable starting. What's he averaging, Sean?
I think he has such a low ceiling. Like you're not expecting Cole Beasley to absolutely blow up for you.
Right.
But he's got such a solid floor that like if you need
It-
someone at flex, you can easily plug him in. He's
If you
averaging
need 10
12.3.
points, he's getting you 10 points.
All right, so who should I start this week? Cole Beasley or Scotty Miller?
Definitely Cole.
I'm starting
Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
Oh well, I already have Diggs, and I don't want two Bills.
Yo,
wide receivers.
sometimes you got to look past that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had Diggs, but Cole Beasley has at least 12 in each of the last 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
even with Diggs,
Mhm.
I like Cole Beasley, but I still have John Brown over him just for John Brown's upside. I have Cole Beasley at 36, John Brown at 29. And obviously, pending health of John Brown, he's missed practice a little bit this week. So make sure to monitor that. But let's move to the other side of the ball. Obviously, for the Titans, Derrick Henry, you're starting him. He's locked in. But are there any Titans pass catchers with Corey Davis now on COVID list and AJ Brown still questionable? What pass catcher would you feel confident even starting?
I think Adam
Jonnu.
Humphries is. Yeah, Jonnu. Adam
Jonnu.
Humphries has been pretty.
Isn't he
consistent.
banged up too, though?
I think Jonnu actually was a little bit banged up also. But
So if he plays this week, Jonnu is the safest bet. as a pass catcher out of that offense.
Yeah, Jonnu's actually doesn't have an injury designation as of right now, so
Okay.
he should be fine. He's been putting up some solid numbers, so we'll see how that looks, especially if they're able to even play.
Right.
But yeah, Jonnu and like you just mentioned, Adam Humphries,
Actually,
both wide receivers are out. I like him.
Humphreys was also placed on the COVID reserve list.
Oh my goodness, man, this team
On
is a
Titans are
Friday.
nightmare.
falling though.
Khalif Raymond season, I believe it is.
I don't even know who to name after those names.
Yeah.
Khalif Raymond, man.
I thought that was like some weird
Hey.
Where
thing.
did
like-
he go to Temple, Sean? Is that how you know his name?
No, I actually, he just caught 3 bombs against the Vikings in week 3. He had
Well,
3
everybody-
catches for 118 yards. He was
Well,
averaging
everybody else-
39.3 yards per catch.
That was like Randy Moss that one week. He had like fucking 3 catches, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
So desperation flex play, Khalif Raymond. But other than that, Titans, I wouldn't even start Tannehill just because there's no one to throw to.
Derrick
He's
Henry's
catching-
getting 40 rushes.
Yeah,
He's
Derrick
catching
Henry is
bombs.
getting fed.
The rest
If-
are catching COVID.
Yeah. If the Titans win, it's because Derrick Henry has his 200-yard game this week with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, so let's pick this one. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills.
I'm taking the Bills.
All right. Q, you said Bills?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. All right, sweet. Bet. On to
Give
the
us
next
a
game.
tough one. Come on.
Jaguars at Texans.
This is the
So
tough
this
one.
one's
This is a
interesting.
good one.
This one's interesting. I don't know where to go here.
I
But
know
let's
where
start on
I'm
the Texans
going.
side of the ball for fantasy. Deshaun Watson cracking your top 5 this week
Oh,
against the
at 9.
Jaguars secondary.
no.
Not the top 5.
He hasn't looked like normal D Watt. I have him at 9. I just
have him
think
at 8.
it's the Hopkins karma that's affecting him.
I have him at 7, so I guess I'm the most confident of all of us.
I got him. I'm
just
right
think,
there with you.
all right, cool. Yeah, I just think after those top 6 elite guys that are all obviously playing this week, D-Watt is right there with them this week against the Jaguars in this favorable matchup, especially with guys like, I guess, Stafford and whoever else is on to buy Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to miss you this week, buddy. Boy.
So Fuller, pretty much a must start at this point, as long as he's fully healthy.
Most reliable.
I'd say
option.
so.
And
Most
I thought it
reliable
would be
option.
Cooks,
I
but it's
know
not.
so.
I thought it would be Cooks as well. So looks like Will Fuller is the most solid. I actually have him right outside my top 15 at 16.
I'm right inside my top 20 at 20.
We're all around the same spot there. Wide receiver 2 for sure. David Johnson bounce back game. We just saw Joe Mixon go crazy.
so.
Is this the week David Johnson finally shows up?
I have him outside my top 20, but I think he's in a good offense as well. I think he should have a solid game. Yeah, I think it's better than Joe Mixon. So, it's possible.
Debatable, very debatable. But I have David Johnson at 14.
I have David Johnson at 18. I
So-
don't think he has the greatest week this week, but definitely enough to start him in your
One's
lineup.
for Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
F.
Well, let's flip onto the other side of the ball here. Gardner Minshew at the helm for the Jaguars. Is he in your top 10 this week?
I regret.
11.
I was going to say I actually have him right ahead of D-Watt at number 7.
Same, but
Matt loves Minshew, man.
last time
you ranked him that high, he disappointed. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
with
what
you.
I'm
I'm
about to
back on the
say.
Minshew train, even though he disappointed.
Last time I ranked him that high, he didn't have DJ Chark.
You're right. DJ Chark does have a tough shadow battle this week, though, I believe.
He does, but with Chark playing in our league, playing 6-point touchdowns, I think Minshew is averaging like right around 25, 26 fantasy points a game.
Yeah, he's
So, I
got to
mean,
be startable.
You got to roll him out there.
Yeah.
Especially if you have Stafford or Rodgers on the bye like I do, then you got to throw him out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got Minshew at 11 as well. So right there outside the top 10. Definitely a startable option this week.
Yeah.
I know we just talked about Chark. He's pretty much a must start despite the matchup here. We saw what he could do last week. DJ Chark still has it. And James Robinson, did he crack your top 10 this week after some really consistent performances over the past few weeks?
I have him at number 11.
12.
I'm actually the lowest on James.
You have him. I got him at 10.
I have him at 13.
Ooh, okay. 10, 11, 12, 13. We're all around.
There was a couple people I liked more than him, but he definitely has the upside to finish top 10. I'm not putting him out of like that category as a possibility, but I mean, like I said, there was a couple of names I like better than that with better matchups, but I wouldn't put it past him finishing top 10.
Yeah.
We all have him around low end RB1. You're starting James Robinson. If you
Yeah,
found him on
if-
waivers, you found a gem.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's pick this
I
game.
feel like I'm gonna be alone in this one.
It's a very interesting game because
See,
The
guys, I hope
Jaguars-
I'm with you.
Jaguars are putting up numbers, but they're not winning football games. They haven't won since week 1. And on the other side of the ball, Texans don't have a win and they don't have a head coach.
Remember, Texas
I'm still
won't
going
go
the
0-3.
Texans.
Texans won't
Texans
go
won't
0-3.
go on 5. I'm sticking with the Texans.
Yeah, I think I'm going Texans.
See,
Matt?
guys?
No, Matt.
Jags.
You're alone.
This
Take
is
the
the
Jags.
week I take the lead.
Take the Jags.
The Jags are easily winning.
Look, I think the Texans are. I don't know if they had any issues with Bill O'Brien, but I think they know at this point they're 0-4.
I think
Now they
T-Guts
got
has
a new head
question.
coach. They want to win games. They're competitive. Jaguars defense sucks.
Yeah.
Give me the Texans.
The
You
Jaguars
said-
are
hold on, Matt.
contenders.
Last week, you just said there's no way that the Texans are beating the Jags. What did you say about the Eagles last week? Wait,
Sheesh.
you picked the Niners all by yourself, I think. And I think you said there's no way that
Who?
the Eagles beat them.
I didn't. I
Alright.
honestly did not.
I don't remember exactly what you said.
that's
We're gonna
exact-
pull up the tape.
I said there was no chance that the Eagles beat the Niners, and
Yeah.
they beat them.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did.
Okay,
I might pick against the Eagles again this week just so they win.
Might
Oh, I'm
have
easily
to.
picking against the Eagles this week.
And
We'll
they're
get
not
to it.
winning.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's slow our roll. Let's slow our roll.
Slow your
Let's-
roll, jabroni.
Let's move on to the Bengals at the Ravens.
Can we skip this? No,
I mean,
I'm just kidding. I'm
Kinda,
just kidding. I'm
it's-
just kidding.
interesting.
It's
interesting.
It is interesting.
Not interesting.
Are you benching Burrow this week?
Hell no.
Yeah. No, you're not.
I'm
He-
downgrading
So
him,
why are you
say
saying
the
yeah?
least. I'm
Alright.
downgrading him.
I don't know.
He's
Um,
definitely downgraded because I have him right inside my top 12 at number 12. So
You guys
What
got
are
him.
Wow.
you? Who does your ranks?
I got him at 17.
I have
him
at
at
16.
14.
So Matt's the highest. Matt, give us the case. Joe Burrow,
I
QB1
mean,
this week.
the biggest threat on the defense is going to be on AJ Green, who hasn't
No,
been a threat at. Who's he going to be on?
Marlon
Tyler Boyd?
Humphrey is not going to be on AJ Green.
I think he might be.
he usually covers the fast. No, he didn't cover Reek. I don't think he's going to be
If-
on AJ
if
Green.
he's
not a
on
threat.
Burrow's on the outside, right?
I don't know.
So
Paid
Tyler
man.
Boyd's usually around the slot. So I
Right.
don't know.
So
if
I think Joe Burrow is going to be able to find holes in that defense. I think he has that confidence going into this week. I think he puts up another big week. I see the Bengals
actually-
putting up a fight this week.
I'm going Burrow as a top 14 play just because Mixon may have a terrible game against this Ravens defense and he's going to have to throw the ball a lot, which he's been doing. So that's
Yeah.
just giving him the upside.
Yeah, I think you're starting Burrow if you believe in garbage time. I think the Ravens are going to get up and they're going to get up big in this game. So Burrow's going to have to throw a ton to keep up. But I don't know. I'm just not super confident against the Ravens. Like this is a huge game for him. We'll see. I don't know. I got him at 17. I think he's startable, but I'm not like there's some other guys I'd rather start. Like we'll get into in a little bit.
I have this mentally noted.
All right.
Good.
Keep it in your back pocket. We're going to talk
I
about the Bengals next
I
week. I'm
will.
ready.
I will.
So moving on to the wide receivers, Boyd's obviously a must start. AJ Green or Higgins startable? Not really. Nervous.
Higgins maybe a fill-in with these buys. I don't think there's many receivers out there that are like dealing with a buy, so you may not need to put him in, but he's interesting.
Higgins
AJ's
or
the
Cole
last
Beasley.
option.
Yeah, I have them.
Easily.
I'm taking Beasley.
All right.
I think Higgins has more upside, obviously, but Beasley is much safer. I have Higgins and AJ Green both outside my top 40, right next to each other at like 41 and 42. So you're throwing them in there if you're desperate.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews locked in. Any Ravens running back you're touching this week?
No.
Mark Ingram finds
No.
the end zone.
He might. Still
He
does
might.
not gonna trust him.
Yeah, I got him at
Maybe.
29, like almost outside the top 30. I have Dobbins
Yeah.
lower. I have Gus Edwards even lower. Not confident.
I have Ingram at 31. I have Dobbins and Edwards outside my top 40.
It's tough to trust any of them. We'll see if anyone eventually comes out. But let's move on to the passing game again. Hollywood Brown has been a bit inconsistent this season. You guys have him top 20 this week.
Oh man, probably not.
I have him 22, but this might be his best chance to find the end zone this week.
Yeah, I got him at
Very
23.
I got
So
him at
I
23
think-
too.
Very low
I-
on Hollywood.
I think there's a pretty good chance this is his boom game. We saw Hollywood boom last year against the Dolphins in a very easy matchup where he went absolutely crazy. I think he thrives in these kind of games where the Ravens are able to just take deep shots to him, get up early. So I think this might be one of those games where you start Hollywood Brown and you feel incredibly good about it. Or if you decided to bench him, you might regret it a lot. So I don't know. We'll see. I like Hollywood this week. Got him at 22.
You definitely
He's got
start
the
him.
upside. Matt, where do you have him at?
27.
Okay. You're not even that much lower. You're still starting him
Not like
as a flex.
horrible, but yeah, definitely starting him if I have him at flex, unless I have like better options. If
If you
that's
found
the
James
case, your
Robinson on
team's
waivers,
stacked. Yeah.
something like that. All right, let's pick this one.
Ravens.
Sweep. Ravens. Cool.
Yeah.
Matt hasn't spoke yet.
Don't make me bring the broom out. I can't point to it. There it is.
All right. Let's move on to the next game here. This one's actually somewhat interesting also. The 2-2 Panthers at the Falcons. Panthers have won 2 games in a row, and the Falcons defense
Falcons are a
looks
dumpster fire.
pitiful. They've lost a lot of heartbreaking games. Let's start on the Panther side of the ball. Is Teddy Bridgewater a viable quarterback this week?
I want to say yes. Like he had a very impressive game on with his legs and throwing the football, but I just may need to wait. But he did do well last year when he was taking over for Breeze those couple of games. So if you either have Rodgers or Stafford, I guess he would be a good replacement.
I like
Yeah,
Bridgewater a lot this week.
You could
Go ahead,
definitely
T-Guys.
you could definitely start him against the Falcons. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think most quarterbacks you could feel comfortable starting against the Falcons if you had to start them.
yeah,
Boosh.
yeah. I still like Bridgewater even if you don't have to start him this week. I actually have him inside my top 12 at 12.
I have him at 12 as well.
13.
I have him at 13. Right behind
13.
Joey B.
So we all got him as a starter, pretty much a low end starter. If you have a bye week or something, you need someone to play. Teddy Bridgewater, someone you can definitely plug in there. Mike Davis, obviously still around that top 10, top 15 area with CMC out one more week. And I know we touched on DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson this week already. Where do you guys have them ranked? Is there a big disparity? Do you still have DJ Moore over Robbie Anderson?
I have Robbie Anderson 10 spots ahead of DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson
9 spots.
Ooh.
14
Oh my gosh.
spots.
14 spots?
14
All right.
spots.
Well, let me talk because you guys are all in the same boat here. I still have DJ Moore ahead of Robbie Anderson for one more week.
Biased.
If DJ
That's
Moore
biased.
if DJ Moore does not blow up against the Atlanta Falcons secondary and show that he still has the capability to be the number one wide receiver on this offense, by all means, Robbie Anderson's clearly the number one. I have them very close. I have DJ Moore at 15, Robbie Anderson at 17. I think they both put up big weeks. But if DJ Moore can prove to me that he can still put up numbers in this offense, I'll feel more confident about him. If he struggles again against the Falcons, he's bench bait and he's getting scary.
Yeah,
You're
if he
scared that you
struggles-
drafted him.
Numbers don't lie, Sean. I'm just saying.
If he struggles,
He's still
Don't lie.
involved. It's not like he's disappeared. He did have 20 in week 2. I think I could see him being involved again.
Curtis Samuel might be touching him in my ranks if he struggles again this week. They'd be very
Yeah.
close to each other.
That's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah, that's honestly, you're not wrong if he struggles against the Falcons. Like that's absolute chaos, panic time. Press the panic button. DJ Moore. All right, let's move on to the other side of the ball. Don't do that again.
That was my panic button.
Is this a bounce back week for Matt Ryan against the Panthers defense?
He's not going to do worse than he did last week. That's for sure.
Yeah, I still have him inside my top 10, partially because there's some guys on bye, but I like Matt Ryan still. The team's been struggling, but he's still going to have to throw a ton. And Panthers defense has been good, but I still think Matt Ryan's going to air it out.
Yeah.
The Falcons offense has too many good weapons for him not to do good against the Carolina defense. Especially if they get Julio back and Calvin Ridley isn't dealing with his injury. But I mean, Julio's doubtful, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Panthers defense has been shockingly pretty decent against quarterbacks, though. I mean, Tom Brady had 10 against them. Herbert had 16, that's his worst game this season. And Derek Carr only had 15. The only quarterback to have a decent game was Kyler Murray, and a lot of that was like on the ground. He only threw for 133 yards. So Panthers defense has been shockingly good, but I still think Matt Ryan's locked in his top 10.
If Julio's out, big Zacchaeus game.
Whatever. I don't know how to say his name. Zacharias or something.
Zacchaeus.
Olamide.
Yeah.
It's Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah, Zacchaeus. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome, Sean.
Calvin Ridley should be fine. You're plugging him into your lineups. Monitor Julio's injury. If he's playing, you're plugging him into your lineups. Gurley, top 15?
Yes.
I have him at
Above
15.
14.
14.
16. So we're all around the same spot.
Yep.
I'm the lowest, so I guess I hate Todd Gurley.
I mean, he's fine in the end.
Panthers defense has been good. I think he just needs to find the end zone to consistently be a good fantasy option. And he might find it again against the Panthers.
Or either that or get more involved in the passing game if Julio's out, if they can find a way to do that.
He'll have some good value.
Good value.
Yep. All right, let's pick this one. Panthers at Falcons. Who do you have?
This is a tough one too, I'd say.
Yeah, Falcons are 0-4, and they should have won at least 2 of their games. So
I'm going Panthers.
Easily should have beat the Cowboys. That game was like
Yeah.
the worst ending I've ever seen.
The
And
Cowboys.
the Bears.
I could have won that
0-4.
game.
the Bears too.
And the Bears. Well, I mean, big PP Nicky came in and took over. So.
Yeah, he's elite when he comes in as a backup.
But I'm taking the Falcons in this game.
I'm going Panthers.
I'm going Carolina Owls.
What?
They have like 7 Temple players on the roster and former Temple head coach.
All right, Matt, run it up. It's me and you.
All right,
I'm
let's
going
go,
Falcons.
Sean, this is our
Taking the
game to get us
Panthers.
back.
Yep. Let's take this one, Q. Panthers got this.
See,
3
guys, let's
3
run
and
away
2.
with it.
Panthers are going to be above 500, and that's going to be the toughest division in football.
What? What'd you say, Matt?
Probably. I said let's run away with it.
Panthers,
Sure.
Saints, Bucks, competitors. Falcons. All right, Raiders at the Chiefs. So, I mean, we could talk about the Chiefs if you want, but Mahomes,
No.
Kelsey, Tyreek, Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
Yeah.
pretty much all top 5 at their positions right now.
I will
Maybe
say
you can
last
say Clyde Edwards-Helaire, maybe around top 10.
last
but
week would have been a good week to rank Mahomes outside the top 3 as I did the week before, just because he struggled against the Patriots. He had his worst games in his career against the Patriots, so they don't have his number because I think he's beaten them all 3 times or however many times, but they've somewhat figured him out.
their defense is good. Yeah.
But like Mahomes is easily gonna crack the defense eventually and score, do what he has to do.
Yeah, I got Mahomes at 2. Like, well, these guys we're just gonna say top 5, so not really worth talking about. Mecole Hardman becoming flexy. You guys like Mecole Hardman moving forward? I mean, he's
He's
got
still, like,
30
too-
fantasy points in 2 straight and combined in 2 games in the last 2
He's
games.
Still too far down on the depth chart, but he does get his touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been finding the end zone. If he continues to do so and continues to get more involved, he'll be better. On the other side of the ball, Darren Waller's locked in, pretty much top 5 tight end, as we've been talking about for multiple weeks.
Yep.
Is Derek Carr startable this week against a Chiefs
No.
defense that's been pretty decent? Yeah, I'm
No
gonna go with
pass
you guys.
catchers.
I'm very low on Derek Carr this week.
I don't even think I ranked him, so I'm
I'm
with
at
you.
21.
I only ranked 20, and he was not there. So
Wow, I ranked more quarterbacks than Sean.
on a bye week, I was just looking at names, and I was like, these are
That's
awful.
2 quarterbacks gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm not starting Derek Carr.
No.
Hell no.
But only other really relevant option on the Raiders right now, Josh Jacobs. Do you still have him inside your top 10 despite his struggles?
9.
He has too much talent to
I have him at
be
number
outside of it.
And the
Yeah.
volume is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like he's going to get force fed.
I think this is a good game for Josh Jacobs. I think he bounces back this week. I put him inside my top 5. I got him at 5.
Whoa.
That's a little too high, but
Josh
Another
Jacobs.
mental note.
Josh
did
Jacobs bounce back this week.
Yeah,
Sean
so-
is
okay.
fried.
Okay.
we saw what Damian Harris did and James
Teams,
White.
you can run on the Chiefs. We've seen David Johnson run on the Chiefs and average 7
They'll
yards a
let you
carry.
run on him all day long.
Yeah.
Running
Exactly,
isn't
so-
going to keep you in the game with them. We
that-
saw that
that's-
with the Ravens.
That's fine, but the Raiders are still going to run the ball because they know they can move the ball that way. Josh Jacobs is going to get points.
Fair. We're talking about a player, not the entire team.
We all got him as top 10.
I'll
We're starting him.
respect it.
Let's pick this game
We're all
Raiders-
picking the Raiders, right?
at Chiefs. Wrong.
Okay.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Easily taking the Chiefs.
I know we're all taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
This game is skippable. This next one.
Yeah, irrelevant city here, except for the main two.
All right. Cardinals at the Jets. Question.
In-
Is this really a good matchup for Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Is playing the Jets a good thing for quarterbacks?
I mean, you're gonna say he's gonna get hurt?
No.
They're just gonna go up big.
They just run the ball throughout the entire game. We've seen quarterbacks actually not put up big numbers against the Jets like you want them to.
Well, I don't know.
They're currently top 10 against quarterbacks in terms of
There
fantasy
is
points.
a such thing as a matchup being too good to be true.
Yeah.
And the Jets have seemed that way. I mean, they haven't played that many great quarterbacks. Obviously, Philip Rivers, Rippon, and I think Garoppolo got hurt in week 2.
You know what this all sounds like to me?
What?
A nice Kenyon Drake game.
That's
Little
what we're getting into
confidence
next.
booster.
I do think Kyler will be fine, though, just because of his rushing ability. And I still have him inside my top
Yeah, no,
6.
you start him
I
every
have
week
him
no matter
number
what.
6.
Yeah, Kyler's locked in as a starter. But yes, Kenyon Drake breakout game or Chase Edmonds breakout game?
Has to be Drake.
Heads or
It's like
tails?
Drake's last straw.
Yeah, I think it's Kenyon Drake's last breath here. I got him at 15. If he does not perform this week, I'm going to be dropping him a lot in my ranks. And he's moving towards David Montgomery territory where he's going to be involved, but he's just not putting up numbers for you.
Yeah.
Matt will talk about this a little bit later. That's why he's staying quiet. All right. On the other side of the ball, Jamison Crowder with Joe Flacco.
Who knows? Joe Flacco could make this a game.
Jamison Crowder has been so solid with
So solid.
But-
Start
You
him.
need Darnold. I think
But
Joe
Joe
Flacco.
Flacco coming in, that's like the worst idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can still start Crowder if you need to, but Joe Flacco stinks. He stinks. Le'Veon Bell is still on IR, but he's practicing. Did you guys rank him? And if so, you starting him or you just plugging him right back in?
I have him outside my top 20 at 21. Am I starting him? I mean,
as a flex,
yeah.
yeah,
There
I got
could
him
be
at
better
25.
options.
I'm at 22.
I'm at 20.
Yeah, so we're all around the same place.
Oh yeah, right there.
But I'm still scared if he plays. I don't
I'm
know how
nervous.
much he'll be
Last
playing.
year he didn't have over 100 rushing yards in a game. I mean, he wasn't elite like he used to be. So I
You're-
mean, if he plays, he's definitely a safe bet to get you some points. But whatever you expect out of him,
What is
you
Sean
might
say?
not get.
The reason you I was just waiting for Matt to finish.
Sorry.
The reason you play Le'Veon Bell this week is just because he has king of dump offs, Joe
Yeah.
Flacco at quarterback. Joe Flacco used to dump the ball off to whoever he could, Danny Woodhead, whoever the
Ray
heck was in
Rice.
his backfield, Ray Rice. They would rack up receptions. So Joe Flacco panics and dumps it off. Le'Veon might end up with like anywhere from 5 to 6, 7, 8 catches if Joe Flacco is down a lot and having to throw.
He's gonna get 5, 6, 7, 8 catches.
Yeah, like LeBron won 5, 6, 7, 8 rings. All right, let's pick this one.
Cardinals.
Please tell me
Cardinals.
nobody's taking the Jets.
Cardinals,
Matt, go
Cardinals, Cardinals,
Jets.
Cardinals, Cardinals. Matt, you want to take the Jets.
Why would I take the Jets?
All right,
You're a
let's
good
keep
friend.
this moving. Eagles at Steelers. I know we already talked about Wentz being startable. We're not starting him this game. But is Miles Sanders locked in even after a shaky performance last week?
Top
Gotta
10
be.
Player.
Lock
think-
in.
I actually am outside my top 10 this week at 11. So
Well,
he's right
I
there.
do
He's
have
still,
him at 11.
I
He's
have
still
him
an
right at-
RB1.
I have him at 11 with you, but I mean, 11
Still
still,
an RB1.
RB1 status, like you said. I think he's only going to get better. I just don't think he's getting the touches that he needs to get. I see him open out of the backfield so many times while the Eagles are playing, and Carson Wentz either decides to take a sack or
He likes the big play.
throw it to like a double covered wide receiver who
Or fumble.
doesn't even have a name, or fumble.
Or
He didn't
fumble.
fumble
It
last
is,
game though.
it is tough when you're running for your life and you're scared every play. But yes, he has missed Miles Sanders on multiple occasions.
Yep.
Ertz bounced back this week after such
Sure.
a pitiful game.
He
Sure.
has to.
It might
Yeah,
be a
he
similar
has to.
performance.
Yeah, that's.
I
I
still
feel like you
have him
have
in
to
my
start
top
him if you
5.
have him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're forced to start Zach Ertz. You don't have many other options. I mean, we did see Fant have a pretty good game against the Steelers, so that gives you confidence that Ertz might be able to get open too. Special
Hi,
guest
Ryan.
Ryan Gill in the background.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Shout
you wanna
out.
Say hi to the podcast.
All right. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers side of the ball. Is Big Ben still a top 10 option?
I got him at 8.
I have him right at number 10, so yeah. I can't say no. I'd be a liar.
Yeah, I got him at 9. I like Big Ben a lot this week.
I like Big Ben.
But the one thing that makes me
Great
nervous,
matchup, too.
are you nervous about Juju getting shadowed by Slay?
No, I
Yes.
don't
No,
think
because
he'll
he
be-
gets Deontay Johnson back.
I don't.
Yeah,
Think
but the
Juju will be
question- sorry, go.
shattered by Slay because Juju comes out of the slot. I mean,
Sometimes Slay will go into the slot to cover like bigger named receivers, and Juju might be on that level at this
Slay
point.
is more of a follower, unlike a Richard Sherman.
So we'll see if he ends up shadowing him. I'm not exactly positive if he will. But if he does, that does make me a little bit nervous about him. And I do like Deontay Johnson coming back. I like Deontay Johnson a lot.
Juju is dealing with a toe injury at the moment. So, I mean, I'm sure it won't keep him out of the game, as Mike Tomlin says, but it's still something to monitor.
Yeah. I ranked them pretty close. I actually have Juju at 21 and Deontay Johnson at 25. So I think they're both solid options.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely both solid.
I think you have to start both, though, pretty much either way if you have them. You might have a
you.
better option than Deontay Johnson, depending on where you ended up getting him in your drafts. But I like Deontay Johnson. James Conner's locked in. Don't really have to say much about him. You're starting him. Let's pick this one. Eagles
Do it.
at the Steelers.
Go Birds.
Dummy.
I just think
Birds are back.
They're
Taking
back.
The birds. Taking the birds.
Gods.
Oh, sorry, I wrote it down, but I didn't say anything. I'm easily taking the Steelers.
Yeah, I gotta take the Steelers.
This is why we're leading and you guys are in last.
Look,
Well, no,
took
because
the Eagles last week.
Right, I rooted against the Eagles last week. I was
Took the
wrong.
Eagles last week.
But I
Look,
mean-
last week was definitely a more favorable option, but Steelers had a whole week off. I like the Eagles this week.
The whole week off means a lot.
You think the Niners are better than the Steelers?
No.
No, I said it's definitely.
Uh,
It was an easier matchup last week.
Okay, I thought you were okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm taking the
Steelers are definitely good, but I'm still taking the Eagles. I think it's an upset. All right, a few more games to get through here. Let's go. Rams at football team. Now, we expected the Rams to explode on the Giants last week, and that did not happen. So, are you
Very
still
close.
starting Jared Goff, not Jared Goff?
Cough.
COVID's got me messed up, man.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
Oh.
just COVID in general. Anyways, is Jared Goff startable?
I'd start Daniel Jones over him this week. That's
Okay.
I would definitely start Jared
Kick
Goff.
him from the Zoom call.
I actually do have Daniel Jones ranked 2 at 18,
I have him at 17, actually 16.
but I have Goff at 16.
I have Goff at 15, Jones at 16.
Well, they're not playing each other, so we don't have to keep going and compare them too. But
Well, I mean, I'm starting Goff if I have to.
Yeah, if you have to. It's pretty much the only reason you're starting him. Cooper Kupp had a better game last week. It's pretty much hit or miss. Woods or Kupp, doesn't really matter. I think they're both locked in if you have either or even both. I think you have to start both.
Yeah, you
have
start both.
you're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Which
guy.
one's gonna do better? You flip a coin.
Yeah, you pretty much flip a coin. Any Rams running back you're starting against
They're just
football
like
team?
they're just like the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in any of them. I
Nope.
think you get lucky if you start one, but scares me, to say the least. On the other side of the ball, Kyle Allen have much of an impact on this offense, changing anything?
I'm sure it'll be
Just
We
just
Terry.
talked about it. We talked about it last podcast. I mean, not really.
Yeah.
Their ranks don't go down for me much or at all, really. Gibson in the top 20, McLaurin
Yeah,
also
I'm
in the
not.
top 20.
I'm not dropping McLaurin's rank, or I'm not raising
Yeah.
Gibson's rank just because what's his face is in a quarterback.
Yep, I'm with you there. Yeah, I like Gibson and McLaurin also this week. McLaurin is questionable with a thigh issue, but it's the same thigh issue he had heading into last week. So don't
And
worry
he had
about
his
it. We
best
should
game
be
of the
fine.
career.
Yeah, exactly. So let's pick this one.
Rams.
Sweep. Los
Rams.
Angeles Rams.
Wham bam, thank you, Rams.
St. Louis Rams.
No, not St. Louis, Q. They're in Los Angeles.
St. Louis.
On to the next one here. Dolphins at the
Oh
Niners.
my god, can we get like a good matchup, man?
It's a lot of favorites.
I'll
So
take
you never
any
know.
of
There's
them
going to
you
be
can
some
pick.
upsets. You never know. But Devontae Parker.
Don't
Anyone
disrespect
else?
Mike Gesicki.
Anyone else?
Mike Gesicki's
Mike
trash.
Gesicki.
Where
one
did
of
you
the-
rank Mike Gesicki this week, Q?
Now I didn't give him a favorable ranking. I have him at 10. Okay, so
I actually gave him a favorable ranking too. I put him at 9.
I put him at 13.
I don't know why I put Ingram in front of him because I dislike Ingram very much. But yeah, top 10 Gesicki. He has the talent to be good in this offense. Is the only other possible receiving option outside of Devontae Parker that can do something.
I feel like he has to
When
get more involved.
Is everybody gonna listen to me and like know that Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't a good quarterback?
He's not. He was almost benched. They were
Yeah, it was-
considering it.
It was a bad sign that they said that they announced that Fitzpatrick was starting this week.
And if
Yeah.
Tua comes in for his first game, I'm not really trusting. The only
It's
person
cool.
I'm trusting on the offense might
Miles
be
Gaskin. Yeah.
might be Gaskin and D Park because D Park has been so solid. so
Yeah, I was
far
going to
this year.
mention Miles Gaskin next. You have him as top 25 this week.
Hmm.
Where do I got him? I gotta keep flipping back and forth.
I put him at 20
I have him
because
at
his name's
20.
so cool.
I
Yeah.
have him at 30.
You bet your bottom dollar.
You
I
said
got
you
him at
loved them last
22.
week.
No, he loves his name.
I like his name, and I like Gaskin, but I don't like at
But
San Francisco.
he would be better if his name was Joe Gaskin or Miles Mixon.
He would be. He would be. He definitely would be. No, I just don't like at San Francisco. I think that's still a tough matchup. Miles Sanders struggled last week. I don't know if Miles Gaskin's
Oh,
Miles
double
thing.
Miles.
confident.
This is Miles,
But Miles
Y.
with a Y, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a little AEYOU, sometimes Y.
Sometimes Y cooks.
All right, let's stop talking about the Dolphins offense. Let's move on to the other side here. Jimmy Garoppolo is questionable. Monitor him moving forward. I think he does give a bit of an uptick over Mullins or Beathard, whoever they end up starting,
A
Definitely.
little bit.
since Mullins got benched last week. Kittle, number 1 tight end this week.
Nope.
He should.
Yes.
He
Yes,
said,
he's
"I
number one
yes,
for me.
decide."
Number
Yes.
1 for me too. Matt's still loving the Travis Kelsey train.
Well, let's not assume
That's
maybe he
like-
doesn't have him.
He definitely has Kelsey at 1.
I do have Kelsey at 1.
If you don't have
Who else am I
Kittle,
going to put over Kittle?
Darren
Greg
Waller
Olsen.
would be, or Mark Andrews would be. Okay, Greg Olsen, stop. All right, Kittle's top 2.
Yeah,
You're
I
starting
hope
Kittle,
so.
no
I'm
doubt.
starting him.
But onto another player on the Niners is Debo Samuel, the next best option.
His first game back,
Hmm.
I don't know. I like Ayuk. He had another touchdown last Sunday night, an impressive one to say the least.
Very impressive.
But Debo's obviously more talented, and I'm sure he'll pick it back up. If not this week, next week.
I mean, I do have Debo Samuel on my team, so there is a bit of bias here.
Of
I
course.
still am.
Always.
I'm not super high on him. I have him at 40, but I like Debo Samuel's chances to explode this week. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I like
I have
Debo.
Debo at 30. I think he is going to fit right in with the 49ers offense. Well, at least more than Sean thinks he is.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
think
why I have
Ayuk-
him super low when I'm actually about to talk up pretty high on him. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to arrange my rankings a little bit differently here. But I do like Debo a lot this week.
Yeah, I think with him back, Ayuk's volume and production definitely takes a downtick. Not tremendously, but enough for Debo to be over him by a good margin.
All right, and Mostert, you're starting him if he plays. If not, you're starting McKinnon.
Raheem
Whoever,
Mostert.
whatever running back starting in the Niners offense, you're starting them. Pretty
Right,
much.
For some reason, they're just always.
McKinnon didn't have the
I don't know.
best game. I mean, he did
had
have a touch.
22.
He did.
Pretty sure.
Jesus, I didn't see him running that much. 14 attempts
Hey.
for 54 yards and the touchdown. So I guess it was more of a receiving day for him.
Yeah, he had 7 catches for 43 yards. That's what Jerick McKinnon does best: catch passes out of the backfield.
He did it on the Vikings.
Yep, and he'll do it. He'll continue to do it with the Niners. Let's pick this one.
Yes,
Let's not pick this
Niners,
one. We're all taking
Niners.
Niners.
Yes.
Unless
Everybody,
Q's feeling some
everybody,
Fitzmagic.
everybody.
I'm taking the Sixers.
Wow, wrong sport.
Wow.
All right,
no
a few more
way.
games to get through here as we approach Thursday Night Football. Giants at Cowboys. I know we already talked about any Giants startable in general, but this week you have to still try and have confidence. Darius Slayton or Golden Tate? Who do you like more?
I like Tate.
Slayton.
I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm rocking with it still. Darius Slayton.
I like Slayton more just because of his boom potential. I got
Yeah.
Slayton at 30. I got Tate at 37. I think both are decent flex options this week if
Yep.
you're looking for somebody to plug in. Evan Engram, still top 10.
Nope.
Yeah, I
If I
have
were
him
to
at 7.
adjust, I have him at 10. If I were to readjust my rankings with him and Kaseki.
Yeah, I have him at 10 as well.
Okay,
So,
yeah. I
right
mean,
on
I
the
do have him in top
outskirts.
10, but I'm not surprised if he doesn't finish top 10 this week.
I like him because the Cowboys might have the worst
Defense
linebacking
ever.
core, and just the worst defensive.
That's debatable with the
period.
Eagles linebacking core. But
It is debatable.
if Ingram
but,
doesn't do well this week, you might need to dump him.
yeah,
Maybe not dump him, but you're definitely not confident starting him.
I think
Start
I
him
would
this
dump. I
week.
would dump him if he gets less than 10 this week.
start him this week. If he doesn't produce, that's your own situation to deal with. But I see him putting up points this week. So
Yeah, I do too. All right, on to the other side of the ball. Dak, Zeke, Coop, pretty much all top
All
10
must
options.
starts,
You're
yeah.
starting them, no doubt.
Yep.
CD Lamb also has been very consistent. Did he crack your top 20 yet?
25.
26.
24.
Lamb, 29.
Q's low on him. Where do you have Gallup, Q?
Gallup. Do I have Gallup? I have him at 35.
Okay, just making sure you have Gallup below him because Gallup
yeah,
has
yeah.
been struggling.
I'm a lot bigger on CD than I am Gallup.
I have Gallup at 33, but I have CD at 25. So I think we're all pretty confident CD is a flex option if you were able to get him late in your draft.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I apologize to anyone who listened to me and said Gallup would be the most valuable pick this year in your draft because I thought so and I took him. And
You
not-
lied.
I'm not regretting it, but it's not looking so good for me.
Yeah, Matt, not looking too hot. I think Q did call CD Lamb to be his breakout
I did.
wide receiver, breakout rookie.
Wow.
Receiver. So
Finally, Q was right on something.
looking pretty good there.
Well, I can't
Uh,
wait to go back.
Dalton Schultz, also a solid option on this team. Did he crack your top 10 tight ends?
Number 8.
Yep, number 10.
Number 8 for me. So I like Schultz a lot this week.
That been.
Giants stink.
That's
Cowboys
gay.
stink, but the Cowboys
Giants
offense
stink.
is good. So I like the Cowboys offense this week again.
Me too.
Broncos at Patriots.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, we didn't even-
Oh, wait, pick
whoa,
up. Pick
Sean
this
said, "Yo, let's
game.
get
I,
this
I
one
figured
over
we
with."
all were taking the Cowboys, you know?
Oh, is that
Sometimes
what happened?
you just
I
have a
want to
brain
take
fart.
the I
You
want
know-
to take the Giants. Just
Take
because
them, Q. I dare you.
Assuming makes an
won't.
ass out of you and me.
Shut up, Matt. You're taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
I hate you.
All right, go on.
All right, so we all took the Cowboys, correct?
Yeah.
Crack
Alright.
the mundo.
Broncos at Patriots. Possibly the battle of the backup QBs here. Stidham and Hoyer on the Patriots side of the ball. They've obviously had an impact on this offense. Does it continue to impact Edelman this week?
Probably. Broncos defense isn't as good as the Chiefs, obviously. So it'll have some sort of impact, but Edelman will still be like a top 30 guy.
Actually, I'm at 31.
I was
so
about to say I have
roughly,
him at 31.
roughly top 30. Yeah, I
have
dropped
him
him
at
a little bit.
32.
Dropped him a little bit. So you're probably still starting him if you have him, but you're
Yeah.
nervous. You just hope that they are trying to just feed him the ball.
Yeah.
Patriots run game got interesting with Damian Harris coming back last week. Do you prefer Damian Harris or James White this week?
I think
No,
I
that's
like
like
Damian
easy.
Harris.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'll take Damian.
I like
Damian
James White.
Harris.
Safer guy.
Yeah,
I
I,
only like-
have James White a few spots ahead of Damian Harris, but I like both if you're looking for a flex option.
Yeah,
agree
PPR or
with
not
you.
PPR, you pick.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
Rex.
Not PPR, I'd probably prefer Damian Harris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah. On the other side of the ball, Melvin Gordon had another solid game last week. Only one down game thus far this year. This is a tough matchup. Do you still have him inside your top 20?
I have him at 23.
Yeah, 24, bad matchup, and also the return of Lindsey is
Yes.
not helping his case.
Yeah.
I
I
have
was
him
gonna
at
say Lindsey's
21.
back.
I don't think the return of Lindsey has much impact on Melvin Gordon. He was my buy low just last week on Wednesday's podcast. But Melvin Gordon should be the workhorse on this Broncos offense. I think if he is carrying most of the workload through that backfield, they have a chance to win because he's better at receiving than Philip Lindsay is. He's a better rusher than Philip Lindsay is. And I think that if the Broncos are smart, they would utilize Melvin Gordon a lot more than they use Philip Lindsay. Don't get me wrong, Philip Lindsay had a great year last year, but the addition of Melvin Gordon, that just brings him down.
I am happy that Royce is back on the field. I know.
Yeah,
Sean
Royce
is.
Freeman was back. That's my
Oh
guy.
my.
Love
oh
Royce
my
Freeman,
God.
but he did not get much work.
Yes.
Not
Skip.
fantasy relevant. Let's not talk about him. But yeah, Melvin Gordon got him at 21. I'm with you, Matt. I like Melvin Gordon. He's the pass catching back of the two, anyways. And if they fall behind, he's going to catch some dump off work.
He was my RB2 his rookie year.
Who?
Royce Freeman.
Oh yeah, stop.
Who
That was bad.
cares?
That was
All
bad.
right. Wide receivers for the Broncos: Jerry Jeudy or Tim Patrick this week. We saw Tim Patrick explode last week. Who do you like more?
Maybe I
think
should have
Judy's
took
more
him as
upside.
my breakout last week.
Yeah.
Although
Judy's more
Judy did
upside.
have the touchdown.
I still like Judy.
I
Over
like
him.
Judy. I'm taking Judy over Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. I want to see Tim Patrick do it again before I put all of my confidence in him. I do like Judy though.
Yeah.
The name is too basic for him to be good. Tim Patrick.
He should definitely be rostered though.
That sounds like one
Yeah,
last
for
name.
sure.
Tim Patrick.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on Drew Lock, see if he ends up making it play this week. I think it's more likely he'll end up playing next week. Friday practice will tell the truth.
Yep.
Pick this one. Broncos at Patriots.
Patriots.
Patriots for me.
Yeah, I'll go. The defense is going to win this game for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go Pats. I'm not even gonna try and be sexy and take the Broncos because
I'm done feeling sexy.
yeah, I don't.
Braxton Berrios ruined my confidence.
Yeah,
should
I'm
I
taking the
should I
Patriots.
feel sexy?
Oh,
You
God.
look sexy.
Oh yeah.
I just can't trust Rippin. He looked pretty decent, but it was also the Jets.
Yeah, I gotta take Patriots.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you guys, you're wilding.
All right. Finally an interesting game. The Colts at the Browns, the battle of the 3-1 teams. Let's start on the Colts side of the ball here. Jonathan Taylor, are you starting any other Colts? I mean, this team's been winning games, but they've been pretty fantasy irrelevant. To say the
Outside of
least.
the running backs. And
Outside of
will-
Jonathan
Mo
Taylor.
Alley Cox.
I will start their kicker.
Yeah. that's true.
Rodrigo.
Yes, I'll
Good-
start
good-
a kicker.
I said on yesterday's podcast, Rodrigo, whatever, Blankenship has
Blankenship.
been outscoring the last three opponents that the Colts faced by himself.
Yeah.
That is a
been-
kicker outscoring their opponent.
He's been solid. He's definitely been solid. I think Jonathan Taylor's still locked in. You got to start him.
Top 15.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have him top 10. So
I have him at 15.
even after a bad week, I still have confidence in Jonathan Taylor to continue to put up numbers. Naheem Hines might be an interesting play if you're looking for somebody to fill in, just because the Browns offense has been pretty
Yeah.
good, even though the Colts defense has been pretty good. That's why this game's interesting. But Mo Alley Cox, tight end if you're desperate. T.Y. Hilton, I don't think you start him until you see him prove it to you.
You can start Zach Pascal
Hell
and feel more
no.
confident than Ty.
Yeah, but you're still not even confident.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, OBJ back, but now in a tough matchup. Where did you guys rank him?
It's number 15.
Jay-
And
17.
Jarvis
I have him
very
at
far
13.
down.
I have him at 19. So I'm the lowest.
I like OBJ this week.
I still like OBJ this week. I had to keep him up there just because he put up 40 this week. You're starting him, and I still think he's got to be a top 20 option until shown otherwise. On the other side, Jarvis Landry, you guys still considering him as a starter?
No.
No.
Nah.
I have him at 38.
I'm
So,
at 40.
like, if you have to
I
put
have
him
him
in
at
at flex.
28. Obviously, bias intended. I wore his jersey yesterday. But just because he gets consistent volume, you got a safe floor, and he hasn't caught a touchdown yet this year. He's bound to catch one.
Can't be doing that. We're trying
The
to help people
volume-
win.
I still like him.
Sean,
man.
It doesn't matter
If,
what you like.
Sean, if the
He had
volume
16
is
last
5
week.
catches for 35 yards,
Sean,
48 yards last
he
week.
threw a touchdown last week.
that
He's
saved
involved.
his game. That saved his game.
I'm
I-
mad that
I-
I was on the same train as Sean
I
saying
told
like
Skill
it's
into
gonna be
it.
a jar
Preseason.
week. no, last week you said this is like a jar game. He's gonna
It
8
was-
for
it-
180 and a
He
touchdown.
threw
I
a
was hoping so.
touchdown.
He threw a touchdown pass. That was
36-yard
interesting.
touchdown.
All right, yeah, I don't know. I'm still too high on the Jarv train probably, but he's worth a decent flex option if I'm being realistic. Kareem Hunt, the most interesting running back on this team. Did he crack your top 5 this week in a tough matchup?
I have him at number 7.
Yeah, I got him at 7. He's not ranked as my top 5, but I'm not surprised if he finishes top 5 this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got him at 8, so I'm right there with you guys. I like Kareem Hunt a lot. Top 10 this week for sure. Top 5 upside if he's involved in the passing game.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say he could be their leading rusher and the leading receiving option if the case may be.
Yeah, I don't think Dearness will have much of an impact on his performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be more of a lesser Chubb impact, so he'll still be fine. Pick this one. Colts at Browns. Very interesting. Are the Browns for real or not?
Man, that is a tough
Colts.
game. Oh, yeah, I'm going Colts.
Matt?
I want you to say it first.
Go ahead. You guys are. I'm writing you in as the Browns.
Cleveland
Sean
Browns
said
4-1.
Actually, put me at Browns.
Whoa! We got a
I'm-
switcheroo.
I'm taking the Colts.
I wanted to be alone. Now I got Q with me again. Q,
Stupid.
you're bringing me down.
Q's a virus.
I think I. Okay. Only one I picked was Sean.
No, I did take the Browns, though. I just like that offense. I think Darius Leonard was banged up last week also. They already lost Malik Hooker. The defense has been good, but
All right, you like the Browns? I get
with
it.
the Browns. All right.
Two-eye breakout this week.
Yeah, we talked too long about this game. Let's keep moving. Thursday Night Football is approaching. Vikings at the Seahawks. Obviously, on the Seahawks side of the ball, you are starting Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Chris Carson. Locked in. You're starting him, even despite Tyler Lockett's poor performance last week. He should be fine. Plug him in. Top 10 option.
Do not panic.
Did you rank David Moore after a big week last week, or pretty much a fluky game?
Fluky game.
I
He's
mean,
like Marvin Jones.
It might happen one
Yeah.
or two more times this season, but
And that's an
Definitely
insult to
fluky.
Marvin or to DJ Moore to be compared to Marvin Jones.
David Moore.
Sorry, David Moore. Okay. Makes more sense.
Anyways, yes, I don't even know if I ranked him, but if I did, he's probably like in the 40s or the 50s. Greg Olsen, pretty much the only other relevant option. He cracked your top 12 this week.
No.
nope.
Number
but I'm still
15.
starting them.
Yeah,
I'm
I-
at 16.
He did not crack mine either. I have him at 13 versus Minnesota. Minnesota's defense just hasn't been that good, so I'm not that scared either way.
I'm still
Yeah.
not used to that.
They're middle of the pack against tight
Yeah.
ends. So
I see Greg Olsen finding the end zone this game.
yeah, that's actually the one thing the Vikings haven't let up is a tight end touchdown.
I see
So
him
that's
doing it.
due for it because I mean they've let up a ton of yards. 67 yards last week to tight ends, 77 in week 3, and 111 in week 2. So they're letting the tight ends feast. Greg Olsen
Yep,
should be
yep.
involved.
That's why he's starting in my lineup.
On the other side of the ball, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it.
I think I actually have Adam Thielen in my top 3 this week.
3?
I have him in my top 6.
I have him 3rd at Seattle. I have him over DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley.
Wow.
All right.
Adam Thielen's eaten. Seahawks secondary sucks. If they want to keep up in this game, Adam Thielen's going to eat. And Justin Jefferson, I'm pretty high on too. Top 30 wide receiver.
Unless Kirk has another -2 fantasy point day again.
Yeah, that's the only thing you're scared of.
So-
but that was against a really good defense.
If you're assuming that the Vikings have to play from behind this game, where do you have Dalvin Cook ranked?
3rd also. Dalvin Cook, pass catching back. He'll be fine.
All right.
He'll find the end zone. I think it's a high scoring game. Other than that, is Kirk Cousins startable this week?
I don't
He
feel
might
good
be.
about it.
Yeah, I don't feel good about it either. I have him at 15,
I
which
have him at 19.
startable, but I'm not like super confident in him.
But he definitely could go off.
He could go off. All right, let's pick this one. Vikings at Seahawks. I'm
Seahawks.
taking the Seahawks because they're
Seahawks.
elite. 4-0, looking like going to be 5-0.
Feeling cute, Matt?
He's feeling cute. He
I feel
loves
cute
that.
every day.
He
But
loves
I
them
don't gotta be
Vikings.
cute to feel cute. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Oh, all right.
I
Kinda
hate
do.
Matt. Matt, you're such a troll. All right, next game here. The last game. Chargers at the Saints. Monday Night Football. Let's start on the Charger side of the ball. with Justin Rainbow Sherbert. He has
I was wondering where you're going with that.
he has legit QB1 upside. Where did you guys rank him this week against the Saints, who
Number
always find themselves in
15.
shootouts?
14.
I have him at 14 as well. He got
I would feel good
I'm
starting.
a little bit lower. I got him at 18.
that's kind of low. Why do you hate Justin Herbert,
I
man?
don't hate him. I like the way he looks, but I don't know.
No, I feel you. I just think they have the options. Obviously, if you have Keenan Allen or Hunter Henry, you're still starting them despite Hunter Henry's lackluster performance. And he has some decent running backs. He did lose Eckler, but Josh Kelly, Justin Jackson, where did you guys rank them this week? Are they both startable?
Both are startable.
Josh Kelly, I have at 19. Justin Jackson, I have at 32. So just based off of previous weeks, I have Josh Kelly ahead of him, but I would not be surprised the least bit if Justin Jackson has a better game. I forgot his name for a little bit, so I had to
JJ.
just scream it.
Yeah. I have Josh Kelly higher as well. I have Josh Kelly at 18. I think I actually have Justin Jackson a little bit lower at 41. So I'm not super confident in him. I think I like Kelly more, but I know Justin Jackson will be involved.
Yeah.
I think Josh Kelly has been averaging like right around 3 yards per carry the past couple weeks, and he's had a fumble or two. So
A lot of
think
touches.
the Chargers would not shy away from going with Justin Jackson over Josh Kelly if he proves that he could be the better back moving forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, if he does fumble again, like obviously that's an issue, and Anthony Lynn might address that. But if he's able to hold on to the rock, I think he's going to be solid.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, are you guys nervous about Drew Brees at all? He's been a bit inconsistent. Where did you guys rank him this week?
I think if Kamara plays, he's definitely. I mean, not Kamara. If Michael Thomas plays, he's definitely in a better position this week to score more points.
Yeah.
Less risky. But I
think
do have him
that's-
at 18.
18.
Right there with
Damn.
you. I have him at 17. I'm
Damn.
low on Breeze this week.
I got him at 12. I think I
I
like
got
him
him
the
at
most.
10.
Oh,
I like him the most.
Oh, Sean, like
Look,
him
I
the
asked if you were
most.
nervous, but like if he gets Michael Thomas back, obviously,
Yeah,
that
then-
keeps him at that
But
10 for me. But
Them
if he
high
doesn't,
ankle sprains are serious, Sean.
I know that is, and I'm with you. And I'm pretty sure Michael Thomas might end up missing this game. But I still think with Alvin Kamara, like the upside's there. And we just saw Tom Brady torch this Chargers team for 5 touchdowns
With Mike
Five-
Evans.
with Mike Evans. Don't get me wrong.
And that's Tom Brady, not Drew Brees. So let's
Okay, well,
Big fall off.
potato, tomato, tomato.
Big,
Come on now,
big
Matt.
fall off.
Big fall off.
Big fall off. What are you talking about?
Has Drew Brees ever been considered the GOAT?
No, because he hasn't had as good of teams as Tom Brady has had around him. His defense has sucked for the majority
Big
of his
fall
career.
off.
Don't entertain him.
I'm not
entertaining.
I don't want to
Entertain me.
entertain this argument.
Q. We'll have a tag team match later on, and we're gonna.
All right, let's get
What are
in.
we gonna do?
Let's keep it rolling. Thursday night
I can't
football's coming.
curse.
Actually, have a good game this week, so we can't go long.
Okay.
Pick this
Okay.
game.
Hurry,
Actually,
hurry,
wait.
now.
I forgot to talk about Kamara. Obviously, Kamara's locked in.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk.
We don't really have to talk about any other Saints, really. I mean, Traquan Smith or Sanders.
I feel
Jared
better
Cook.
Thomas
starting
doesn't play. Jared
Traquan.
Cook.
Starting Greg Olson over Jared Cook.
I would prefer Traquan over Emmanuel Sanders.
Could
Me
I
too.
regret it? Yes. Could I not? No.
I don't know. I still like Drew Brees this week. I'm not nervous. I'm
I'm
confident.
confused.
He's feeding
I'm
Kamara.
picking the Saints. That's what I'm doing.
Saints.
I am also picking the Saints.
Who are the Saints playing?
The Chargers, the Saints are
I'm
home.
picking the Saints.
All right, thanks.
Chargers.
Not too many differences this week. Seems like this week was too easy. There's definitely going to be some upsets we're going to be upset about.
That was a good one, Sean.
Let's get into our breakouts before we wrap this one up. My breakout this week, someone I ranked wrong, not realizing it earlier, Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo Samuel a lot this week against Miami. I think it's his coming out party. I think people remember. Look, I have Deebo Samuel in our league, yes, but I don't have
How
him in
many
every league.
times has Sean been biased this podcast alone?
This
I think
podcast alone,
probably
at
like
least
five
30.
At
Look,
least 5.
I like my guys, and I like certain players. Deebo Samuel has that it factor. He was a top 15 wide receiver last year down the stretch.
I'm gonna say you're not wrong about this one though.
He was averaging 14 points per game before getting hurt last year, and the only reason he fell in drafts was obviously because of that injury. Deebo Samuel is still locked in as a solid option, especially if Jimmy G's playing. You're starting Deebo Samuel, and you will feel good about it.
I agree with you.
All right, Q, hit us with your breakout.
This took a little while to find. I mean, I didn't really think. I don't know. My breakout this week is Greg Olsen. The past 2 weeks, he's had at least 5 catches. He led the team in targets last week with 7, and was just around there the week prior. He hasn't made the end zone since week 1, but in a favorable matchup against the Vikings, and it seems like he's getting more involved in the offense. Definitely a guy that could have a good solid game Sunday night against Minnesota.
Yep, solid pick.
I hope so.
We just talked about how they're not that good at defending tight end. So,
I hope so.
Matt, hit us with your controversial breakout this week.
This is very controversial.
This is juicy.
Very juicy.
Let me just say I'll say it after.
No, go ahead. Say it right
I was
now.
going to say that in the last pod, I was going to mention how I might feel safer taking this guy over
The
the
starter?
starter moving forward, but it was kind of hot.
The guy that Q is referring to is Chase Edmonds over Kenyon Drake.
Oof.
Chase Edmonds has the Jets this week.
He does.
He has been more and more involved in the passing game as the weeks progressed this season. He found the end zone as a receiver last week. I mean, Kenyon Drake has gotten almost all the volume in the world. I understand that they paid him, but the Cardinals also want to win football games. And if they want to do that, I think they need to utilize Drake more. He has been
Edmonds.
oh yeah, Edmonds, sorry. Not Drake. Drake is trash.
Baby.
But
Anti-Drake train.
yeah, anti-Drake train. But they need to utilize Edmonds, and if they do that this week, I feel like they will. They will easily win the game against the Jets. I mean, Drake's job will not be necessarily in question because, like I said, they paid him all that money to be who they want him to be. But I feel like this is a big Chase Edmonds game.
Bold take. I like Kenyon
Bold.
Drake more, but if you're
Bold
right,
take.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like Chase Edmonds personally, and Cliff Kingsbury did say he thinks he has that RB1 talent.
He does.
So,
I think everyone thinks so. If he was on a different team, Chase Edmonds could easily start.
Right.
yeah, I'm with you. All right, you guys, wrap it up with the breakouts here. Hit us.
All right. This man went off in week 1 and then was just missing ever since.
Hear that?
What? What?
Me?
What?
Matt?
What?
I'm making sure Matt hears this. He's missing since week 1.
He
I
has
have
been
headphones
missing
On. I can hear.
3
I
weeks
have
missing.
ears.
So yeah, week 1 he had 28 points. Absolutely went off, and then the following 3 weeks he had 3 catches, and his points were 6, 6, 7 in PPR. So if you're not playing PPR, he probably had like 3 points.
That's your
Yeah,
first
but-
mistake.
But he plays the Cowboys this week. His name is Darius Slayton. Cowboys defense is trash, but their offense is great. Giants are gonna have to keep up. Danny Dimes is gonna throw the ball. He might not hit his
Darius Slayton
target,
is the
but
best chance of that happening.
yes, he does have the best chance. Yeah, Danny Dimes isn't the greatest, but Slayton has the most upside on that team. They're gonna have to keep up. Start him, maybe start him if you need
Start
him.
him. Flex.
Flex him, flex him.
Flex him.
I'm never
him.
wrong. Fuck
He's
him.
got some really good flex appeal.
Flex appeal, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
I like
Q
Slayton this
is
week.
so sick that I was right and he was wrong. So
Look, I don't know if you were necessarily right. Slayton probably will be the better wide receiver for a long time just because if they don't put up any other points, Slayton still has the best week 1. But the Giants just stink, man.
Yeah.
Everybody stinks. So we'll see. I hope they can turn it around this week for fantasy owners' sake of all Giants players. Let's wrap it up. If you have any questions, make sure to just shoot them out in the chat. We will be answering them in the chat. We'll all
we'll
be
be
there.
in the chat all night as
Yeah.
we have been.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you have any questions after the podcast, of course, hit us up on social
DM
media.
'em.
hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, even on our website. You can fill it out there. We'll answer
You can
your
DM
questions.
us personally, or you could DM the podcast.
Whatever
Instagram,
floats your
Twitter,
boat.
whatever.
Hit us with
Whoever
some
you
questions.
have the most access to, ask us. We'll all be happy to help you.
All right, Q. Let's wrap it up. Thursday Night Football starting. Joke of the week.
Why do bees have sticky hair? This is gonna be like-
Why?
Because they use honeycombs.
Oh man.
I think it was funny in my head thinking bees with hair.
Like the B movie. You like jazz?
Yeah.
Hate jazz.
God.
Freeform jazz. All right. That's a wrap for this week. Thursday Night Football starting. Make sure to follow us on Twitch if you haven't. You can subscribe now too. Help support the podcast. Help us grow. Also, follow us on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram. Just mentioned all. You can obviously ask us questions. But also just
TikTok.
follow us for news and updates. TikTok as well will be being revived
Everywhere.
shortly. We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
All
Everywhere.
platforms. Follow us. Hit us up. Probably on Facebook soon too. So if you're old,
Yo,
keep an eye on that
For all the
Keep an
older
eye on that.
folks.
for the older
Uh-huh.
folks. That's a wrap. Peace out.